They had a deep fake and it was actually pretty good. And we're going to talk through how they did that and the process that they went through to make that.
It is a unique and difficult art form to execute on. And if people actually want to listen to it, they should be paid. But if they're using somebody else's likeness and image, I can see that being a lot of a gray area. No one wants to live in Ohio, I guess.
No one wants to live in Ohio. Welcome to another episode of Dental Riffs. I am your co-host, Gary Bird. I'm the founder of SMC National, where we help you create, convert, and close more new patients so you can grow the way that you want.
My name is Tanner Applegate. I am the CEO and founder of Unified Dental. We are a SaaS company that helps you manage all of your different login credentials and brings all of your softwares into the same place.
Okay, so we got some good stuff. So Tanner and I just went to an event recently, and at the event, they had a deep fake there, and it was actually pretty good. And we're going to talk through how they did that and the process that they went through to make that. And then also, we're going to talk about a partnership inside of dental and tech between Vine and Simplify. And then lastly, we're going to play a little game of figuring out what the top cities that dentists make the most money in. So which topic do you think you want to hit first, Tanner?
Let's chat about, that one's a little bit more business focused. Let's go ahead and go into the deep fake. I just thought it was interesting. I wanted to get your feedback. Were you able to see it?
Yeah. Yep.
So to help kind of fill people in, Amplify was this last weekend, put on by Simplify, right? So they are tech focused, kind of let's see what's out there that's kind of the most forward thinking in tech. One of their intros, though, they were going through and saying, hey, they'd get D Fisher, right, to say, hey, this is going to be one of the most exciting conferences of the year. Make sure to attend, right? They get Brian Kaleo, Amal, Gary, you were even one of the voices, right?
I was actually
coming in and saying, hey, this is the best event.
Yeah, they actually used my voice in the deepfake. So yeah, that was part of it.
When they did the intro, though, they didn't tell us it was deepfake until after, right? So they went through and it sounded like they were just saying all these ridiculous things. Like for one of them was an example of like, oh, this event will help you get to space or something like crazy, right? It just kind of compounded and got a little bit more and more ridiculous every time. And so the audience was just like, wow, this is a lot to be asking these people who have a very kind of public facing image to say these things. And it turns out Ryan Hungate, who is the CEO was the CEO of Simplify, which we'll get to in a bit, he jumped up on stage and said, hey, the coolest thing about all of that was that none of these people said any of this. It was all fake. Right. And I think for the audience, that was kind of the first time they'd really thought about or considered that. So, Gary, having your voice used in a situation like that, right? They essentially had you saying things that you may not have actually felt comfortable saying. What were your thoughts on it?
So first of all, they emailed me about a week before and they said, hey, Gary, we're going to use this beforehand. Are you good with it? So cool. I listened to it and I was like, yeah, that's funny. And they're all, we're going to tell everybody it's fake. I was more interested in if people thought that the voices were accurate. So listening to it, knowing it's a deep fake, I'm going, oh, you know what? It doesn't sound quite right to me, but I knew that going into it. So what were your thoughts? Did you actually think I said all those things?
Beforehand, somebody told me, hey, there's going to be a little bit of a surprise, so make sure you pay attention to it. Right. So I assumed there was something like that there. And so as I was paying attention to it, your voice, I actually thought was very accurate. Your intonation was there. It was all really good. I didn't see anything stand out.
Sorry to disrupt the show, but I got something crazy to share with you. We are attempting to connect with all of our listeners. We have thousands of people that listen to this podcast, and we want to meet you in person. We have 4 events coming up, and I want to give you a discount code that you can use for the next week to save $300 off your ticket. The discount code is Gary Bird, and the link is going to be just down below. You can also go to smcnational.com/events. I hope to connect with you in person and help each other grow our businesses. Can't wait to see you soon. So Ryan, I talked to Ryan about that separately. He said, we got your voice the closest. And he said, the reason for that is you have the most content out there.
Oh, totally.
So he was like, I was able to grab so much content and load it up. And so other people, there's content out there. And it wasn't as much, so it was a little bit harder. Some people I couldn't even tell that it was their voice or not. So I think it's a volume thing of being able to access people's voices.
They had, like I said, it was Amal, Brian Kaleo, D Fisher. D Fisher's though was the most kind of that I felt like was off. Hers was very kind of monotone when she usually has quite a bit of energy. Anyone that knows D knows that she is a very energetic person.
She is, yeah.
And so I wonder if what they trained her with it was a lot more kind of low monotone type of speaking
Well,
things.
and I think a Maul's voice is hard to duplicate. At least
Oh,
that's
that's
what
true,
Ryan
because of the
said.
accent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he has like a Southern Indian like he has a bunch of accents going on, and it's just like that's a difficult one.
Oh, and I guess to take this topic a little bit further, did you see recently that Spotify is removing all AI generated music? They banned it.
They banned it. I didn't know
Uh-huh.
that. What
Yeah,
was their reasoning behind it?
they said that they wanted to make sure that their platform stayed pure for people that were really hardworking at actually making music.
So
And
this is so interesting. So another artist, I don't even remember what her name was, some mainstream artist. She said that she came out and said, "Hey, whoever makes the best video of me in a song with AI that she didn't actually write, but you're using my voice, let's launch it together and we'll split the royalties on it." So there's some people out there that are thinking about this from the angle of, can we really control it? And what I think about is like, remember when we were kids and they would come out with the CDs and we'd watch them, and then people would burn them. It was so easy to burn a CD. It didn't take much technology or knowledge to be able to do it. And remember at the beginning, they were like, you will literally go to jail for the rest of your life if you're caught burning this CD, and it's up to a fine of like $10 million. And I'd sit there and I'd watch it. And they did it with music too. And the music industry and the movie industry took forever to catch up that, look, people are going to be able to do this and there's nothing you can really do about it. Try to scare people, but it's not going to change it. I feel like we're at another stage of that where copyright laws and all those kind of things are going to have to change.
yeah, for sure. What I think was interesting, you're right. I think if you use somebody's likeness or image, then banning that I understand, because they don't really have the infrastructure to be able to go in and like capitalize on that, right? So if I train with somebody else's voice, but if I trained on some completely like unique and brand new voice and style, like creating those is not easy right now. So I think that sure, if it is AI, that's one thing, but then to go in and say, hey, no, you can't make money off of this, I'm like, let the people make money. Like, it is a unique and difficult art form to execute on, and if people actually want to listen to it, they should be paid. Yeah. But if they're using somebody else's likeness and image, I can see that being a lot of a gray area.
Yeah, it's very, very sticky. We're going to need new laws and new everything. And we talked about this early on, several months ago, where it's just like all the copyright laws, all the way that we think of owning information, that's going to have to radically change. It's just going to have to because of AI.
It also reminds me a lot of like the Netflix thing, where Netflix tried to roll out those rules about sharing their account. Do you remember that? It's a couple months ago. Then everyone blew up and they all had to like roll back.
Yeah, people lost it. Okay, let's talk about the Vine and Amplify partnership, and then after that, let's do the top dental cities for salaries.
Yeah, you're seeing this a lot right now in dental, especially dental tech, consolidations of companies. Vine as a brand is a newer brand. Okay, so to kind of give a history of it, like it started out as NEA Fast Attach, and they were one of the initial like RCM centric digital claim submission softwares, and so they're huge and they've been around forever. Then they started buying other companies like Wonderful, which is a clearinghouse. They bought quite a few other ones, Vine. And so Vine is slowly and then they rebranded themselves as Vine. So they're a conglomerate of a lot of these different products. And the most recent acquisition actually was Simplify. So their vision and goal for the dental space is everything that touches billing all underneath one house. So the reason why they bought Simplify was because the messaging center is one thing, but the second was Simplify has just rolled out, and I don't think a lot of people actually even know this. They rolled out a payments platform, and the way that they integrate into the PMS was very unique compared to other payments platform. So now they got patients payments, they got merchant services, they got patient financing, which Vine has it underneath their platform as well. And then they have all the other Vine stuff like claim submission, claim follow-up, insurance automation, etc. So I'm excited to see kind of if Vine can go in and execute on this well. Vine struggles with every other thing that any kind of tech conglomerate struggles with, which is it's too slow in order to build. They have to just continue to buy their way through problems. So you look at Dental Intel with Modento and LocalMed, or you look at Planet DDS buying all these other programs. A lot of the time, these programs just stay individualized. They don't really get a good job rolling them together, and so it doesn't end up solving a lot of the problems.
I agree. Yeah, we have tons of problems internally that we're constantly trying to figure out, and a lot of times we just end up building it, and it takes years. But at least then we have control over it, right? I see people do this a lot, that they roll up. It doesn't work a lot. Like I can think of a lot of examples of it not working, and not just dental, but in a lot of spaces. And you think about some of these bigger tech companies, they buy companies and they just die all the time. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can execute on it.
Yeah, they have to do it though. I mean, it's either grow or die, right? And they've gotten to the point where growth has to come through acquisitions because they immediately have these new offices that they were in that they were never in before.
Yeah.
So it looks good to the shareholders, but you're right. I mean, to do what actually needs to get done usually requires a lot more capital and or time than shareholders are willing to do.
Yeah, that's totally true. All right, let's do the top cities for dentists. So what are the top 10 cities that dentists make the most money in? You ready
Top
to do this?
paying metro areas.
Okay, break that down for me. What does that mean? Exactly?
Metro areas. So these are cities that may have few surrounding suburbs.
Okay, yeah. Yep, okay.
Right, but they're metro areas. Okay, so we got the top 10 pulled up here. I'm going to have Gary guess, and we'll see if he can get, honestly, I'll be surprised if you can get any of these.
Any of them? They're all in the United States?
All in the United States.
Okay, so I'm going to go number 1, Miami. Or no, somewhere in there, top 10. I'm just going to guess Miami.
Miami is not on the list.
Okay. I'm going to stay in Florida. I'm going to say, well, Miami that's like Fort Lauderdale, all that over there, right? That area all counts. Okay. Orlando, up towards like Tampa Bay, Orlando, that area. Florida
is not on the list.
Florida's not on the list? Wow. Okay. So I'm going to move. If Florida's not on the list, that's wild. So it has. Is there anybody in California on the list?
There is some California on the list.
Okay, so I'm gonna go L.A. or Orange County.
Wrong.
Okay,
not on the list.
All right. Neither of those counties are on the list. So
nope.
San Diego?
Nope, not on the list.
Okay, so none of Southern California. So it has to be moving up, like Santa Barbara, somewhere like that. Well, no, Santa Barbara's in L.A. County.
But these are not counties. These are metro areas. And so this just to give you a hint, not a hint, but this is the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay. So some of these areas I'm honestly having to like look up to see, okay, where is this specifically? Because I don't even know.
Okay. So
and some of these you might be like, is that even considered metro?
Yeah, like the Bay Area, Sacramento, like up in those areas?
It's close-ish that area. So let me go through.
Bro, this is really hard.
Let's go through and just say, guess. So you got California. California has 2 representations on there.
Okay, what are the 2
guess
representations?
The other states.
Yeah, what's the 2 representations there?
Okay, so the ones in California, you have the San Luis Obispo area.
San Luis Obispo. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Obispo.
That's Southern California, yep.
Southern California, but it's still a small enough and kind of far enough away area that it's its own area.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
And then you got the Salinas, California area, which is up north, but still far enough away from San Jose.
All right. So the next state that's going to be the highest paid dentist, New York?
Not New York. Nope. It's not on the list.
The state of New York is not. So Florida and New York aren't on the list. How about Connecticut?
Connecticut has 1.
Let's go. All right. Then I'm going to, where else? Is Washington, either Virginia or Washington, D.C. area?
Washington, Virginia area are not on the list.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. I'm just thinking of places that like make a lot of money. Washington, the state of Washington?
The state of Washington has 3 representatives.
Wow. Which areas?
They're the ones that have the most. So they come in at the number 1 spot for Spokane.
What?
Spokane area, which is on the east side.
That's like the stepbrother to like Boise, Idaho. Like it's not even. Yeah, it's not.
They take the number 1 spot in the country at an average annual wage of $290,000.
Why? Why are they making killing like that in Spokane?
I think it's because they don't have enough.
Employment.
It's the rate. So it looks like there's a employment per 1,000 jobs. It's also the highest employment, which means they probably don't have a ton of dentists there.
Okay, so that's why like the LA counties and the Orange counties and the Floridas are not on the list.
Yes.
They're everybody wants to live
there. They're saturated.
Yeah. So these are going to be places that aren't nice weather or are not destinations.
No one wants to live in.
Yeah, no one wants to live there, right? So like that's
Yes.
Spokane's over in like basically like a desert. Like there's not a lot around
Eastern
it.
Washington.
Yeah, Eastern Washington. It's like the armpit of Washington. So
If you
okay.
live there, we're sorry. We still love you.
I know. I'm not sorry. Tanner's. That's from Tanner. I'm not sorry. I have to go there.
I went to school in Idaho, and I love that deserty area.
Well, Idaho's a little bit different, but okay. So now this really helps me. So I am going to guess New Mexico.
Nope, not on the list.
Oh, okay. Where's another place that no one in the world wants to live? All those, there's a lot of flyover, like the Dakotas.
Nope.
All right, hit me with it. I don't know anymore. Alaska.
So, nothing in Alaska, which would be a fair question. I mean, guess though. So we got Spokane, the number 1 spot. Manchester area in New Hampshire, number 2 spot.
Yeah,
Okay,
I forgot that was even a state. Yep.
Bridgeport, Stanford, Norwalk, Connecticut areas, number 3. Then we got Burlington, North Carolina, which was kind of surprising to me. Olympia, Washington, number 5.
That's like
Norwalk.
That's like 20. That's like 30, 40 minutes away from Seattle, like down towards Oregon. I know where that's
right.
at.
Norwalk area in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Norwalk, New London, Westerly area. Number 6, San Luis Obispo, we already said. Akron, Ohio. So Ohio made it. No one wants to live in Ohio, I guess.
No one wants to live in Ohio.
Salinas, California, and then Mount Vernon, Washington is the last
one. So something funny to share with you, Tanner. The kids now these days, they joke in school and they mess with their teachers. And my kids have actually told me this as well. There's a lot of people who don't believe Ohio exists. They think it's a made up place. And they harass teachers about it. And if you find the videos online, if you ever get stuck in a video loop of like a 16-year-old, you'll read the comments in it. And these teachers, they're like, oh, my students come in and they all swear and they'll put it on the test. Ohio doesn't exist. It's fake. And it's hilarious. It's like a meme that's gotten out of control.
It's like the birds aren't real thing. You remember that?
No.
There was this whole phase where there is a legit community of people that did not believe that birds were real.
Birds, the animals, were not real? Like
birds. Yep.
That's wild. Okay.
I don't know, man. That's what the internet does to this world.
There's so many conspiracy theories built on top of conspiracy theories at this point. It's crazy. Okay, cool. Well, that was a good one. Thanks, man.
All right, man. Chat with you soon.